Hi, I'm Alex from Sheds for Less. At Sheds for Less, we want to make buying and building your next garden shed as easy as possible. That's why we deliver sheds directly to your door, not to a hardware store, not to a depot, but directly to your door. We also include with all of our sheds comprehensive but very simple to follow instructions, which makes building your shed a cinch. A lot of customers come to our website and ask questions about council requirements and do I need a DA and do I need a building permit to build a garden shed? Well, the simple answer to that is probably not. Garden sheds are what they call an exempt or complying development, and what we've done here is we've devised a series of videos that will walk you through how you can ensure that your garden shed build becomes an exempt or complying development so that you don't need to apply to council for a DA or a building permit. So without further ado, have a look at some of these videos. Now, exempt and complying developments can be a pretty dry subject, so hopefully I've interspersed this presentation with a few things that are going to just put a little bit of a smile on our face. So what we'll do is we're going to walk through what we need to do to become a complying and exempt development for our garden shed so that we don't need to apply for a DA or to get a building permit. So the first question that we need to ask ourselves is our property not heritage listed and about to be? Because if it is, it's off to the council. So, more than likely you'll know whether your property is heritage listed. But if it's not, we're over one hurdle and we can move on to the next challenge. So the next thing that we've got to ask ourselves is, are we in a foreshore area? And if you are, that's the price that you pay for a great outlook. You're going to have to go to the council and get a DA for your shed. But hey, if you're not in a foreshore area, then let's move right along. We've passed two hurdles now. Now, we've got to ensure that our shed isn't closer than 900 millimeters from our side and our rear boundaries of our block. So if you have to put it within 900 millimeters, it's off to see the council to check to see whether there are any special circumstances where you can actually build within 900 millimeters of your boundaries. If not, it's a repositioning exercise. But if you've got plenty of room, move right along. We've got 3 out of the way. Now here's a tricky one. Will your shed be behind the building line at the front of your property? So what you need to do is look at the point that is closest to your front boundary, rule a line across the front of your property there, and if your shed is in front of the property, then it is bad luck. It's off to the council because you're going to need to know what you need to do to get your shed to comply, and you're going to need a DA. But hey, most of us have sheds in our backyard, so if it's only a backyard shed, let's move it right along again. Now, is your shed not made from a shipping container? A lot of people ask about shipping containers. Well, cars on bricks, washing on balconies, and shipping containers as sheds, councils just don't like them. So if you're thinking of doing that, you're going to have to get your council permission to put a container on your property, or even a shed made of a container on your property. But hey, who wants their property to look like a wharf? We're not going to do that. Let's move right along. So, will your shed not interfere with exits to other buildings? Now, hey, this is a fire escape issue and we're serious about safety, so you better make sure that your shed is in a position where it doesn't block access to other buildings. And if it does, it's time to think about repositioning, because you're not going to get your permit or you're not going to get your DA if it blocks access to other buildings. Will water draining from your shed not drain into the neighbour's property? Hey, it's just a bit of water, but you better get the guard dogs out because you're going to need them. If the building inspector comes and sees that you've got water draining into your neighbour's property, you're likely going to have to take your shed down. So it's better to make sure that the drains go away from your neighbour's place, or you put your shed in a place where the rainwater from the roof doesn't cascade across the fence and you're going to be living there for a while, and flooding is not a really good neighbourly behaviour. So if you've got your flooding issue sorted, let's move right along. Will the highest part of your shed be 3 metres above the existing ground level? Now, if it is, you need to get plans drawn up, and you're gonna need to get a DA. There is no two ways about it. If it's more than 3 metres high or 3 metres above the ground, it's going to need a DA. However, most garden sheds are only 2.5 metres high, so they fit well within the requirements. So unless you're building your shed on a platform or building it on a balcony, you're not going to need a DA. Now, is your shed the only other development on your block? Now, if you've got another shed on your block, that means you've got another development there. You can't have two sheds, even if they're joined together. You can't have two sheds on your block. You're going to have to go and get a DA and see what you need to do to comply if you want to put more than one development on your block. And remember, your house and garage is your first development. So if your shed is the only shed, then that's the second development, and we can move onwards. We're almost there. Are you in a rural zone? Now, most people will know if they're in a rural zone. If you are, you can keep your shed to under 50 square metres and you're okay. So you don't have to get a permit for a shed under 50 square metres if you're in a rural zone. And hey, if you're not in a rural zone, then you're in another zone, aren't you? So you're more than likely in a residential zone. Now, if you keep your shed under 10 square metres, you'll be okay. You don't need a DA if it's under 10 square metres. If you're over 20 square metres, you're definitely going to have to get a DA. So it's off to council for you to apply for a permit and get a DA for over a 20 square metre shed. But I hear what you're saying. What happens in between? Well, in between 10 and 20 is a bit grey, and you're going to have to go and check with your council just to see what your council's requirements are for the size of shed you can put in a residential zone. But keep it under 10 square metres, so anything less than a 3x3 or a 3x3 shed or less, and you're fine. You don't need to get a DA. So if you've come this far, it's no DA or permit for you. So that's a really simple way of going through what an exempt and complying development is. It's all pretty common sense. I'll put a checklist at the end of this page. So the page that this video is on will have a checklist on it so that you can check it off in your own time. And all I can say is, when you're ready to buy your shed, remember us at Sheds for Less, because we shall sell sheds for less. Thanks for listening, and I hope I helped. And at Sheds for Less, we're trying to make building a shed easier. Bye for now.